Well, welcome everybody. Good morning. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Gigi Fuscamis. I am the Director of Community Relations for 3D Theatricals. And on behalf of our entire team, I want to welcome you to 3D+U. This session is going to be fantastic. You're in great hands. Storytelling through movement with our own Natalie. Natalie, take it away.
Hi, good morning. Okay, so this class, see more people coming in. Great.
I'll take care of that.
Okay, perfect. So this class is going to be kind of a movement-based class. It's early, or maybe it's late, right? If you're someplace else. But we're going to be doing a little bit of work on connecting to the narrative that's kind of already inside of us while we're moving. So today's class is going to be kind of a different avenue into storytelling. Sometimes I think we learn that we kind of, when we specialize with theater, right? We think, okay, here it is, I'm specializing with this thing. And then we only take musical theater classes and we only take acting classes and we only take this one avenue. But what happens then is we close ourselves off to all the other ways that people explore storytelling. So I wanted to do a little bit of that today and do some kind of concepts from modern dance, but not the spooky, scary kind, don't worry. More the like intrinsically connecting to that inner voice. So we're gonna do some guided improvisation to start. And last week I started talking about how I warm up my artistry. And this is how I warm up my artistry before auditions. It's a great way to learn how to connect to kind of yourself. And don't worry, it's gonna be very subtle. Yeah, no botmas, no crazy, nothing. Yeah, very like subtle connecting movement to start. So you can either sit down to do all this, or you can just stand up and all you need is a little bit of space. So I'll put on some music and we'll get going. Awesome, so just back up. And you can hear me back here. And all you're gonna start doing is just rocking from foot to foot. Now, what tends to happen is when we're like getting really emotional, we close our eyes, right? But when we close our eyes, we cut ourselves off from external stimulation. And so say we're on stage and we're in a really dramatic scene, what if we work on not having to close our eyes to get there? How do we find the internal emotion while keeping our eyes wide open? So while we do this little guided improvisation, just keep your eyes nice and good, just shifting from foot to foot. And then see how that action sort of rebounds up into your kneecaps. So your kneecaps get a little loose, kind of feeling like jello. Really easy. Maybe imagine you're on like a nice little beach. Good, and then just shifting, and then it moves into your hips. So your hips start to going, and your arms, imagine maybe they can defy gravity a little bit. So kind of imagine they're laying on like a nice water. Good, so they kind of have a buoyancy to them. Like there's tons of water underneath your armpits and you're just kind of buoyant. Good, and then you start to feel that wave or the shifting come all the way up into your rib cage, into your belly. So you're really kind of creating these cool circles, and it's awesome because I cannot see you, really, right? You're too far away, you're too small, and no one else can see you. So allow yourself to just kind of connect to your silliness a little bit. So it's good to feel silly. It's good to feel uncomfortable, because uncomfortable is the road to discovery. Yeah, so feel a little uncomfortable, no one's around. Keep making these little shifts, and you can already start to feel your body get a little bit warmer, very good. And then as you're doing this, start to reach your arms up above your head, and it doesn't have to look like me at all. It can just look like you. And then start to reach one arm a little bit higher and the other. So you're really reaching out the side body, lengthening each rib, each hip. Then you're just shifting here, reaching, shifting and reaching. Good, then I want you to keep your feet solid, get them right under you. Reach your fingers up to the sky, let your shoulders come up into your ears. And then can you soften your hips? So your hips are kind of soft. They can make lots of circles, but you're reaching up to the sky, pulling yourself away. It's not easy, right? Two different sort of relationships here. Good, and then reach up a little higher, straighten the legs. Good, and then stretch a little bit higher. Can you go past your limit? Stretch a little bit more, and then let it release. Go back to that nice floating. Good, feel free to take a deep breath in. And a really silly maybe, just letting go of the tension of the evening of the last 2 months. It's a lot of things to let go, right? A lot of baggage. Good, so then I want you to start just moving around yourself in space, noticing the space that you're in. So notice how small your space is. Notice how expansive maybe it is. And start to just notice the creases in the ceilings, the texture of the floor underneath your feet. Maybe it's carpet, maybe it's wood, tile. Those are all gonna have a different warmth to them. Good. Keep looking. What haven't you noticed in this room before? Can you take it in like it's brand new, even though you've been sitting in it for 2 months? Or maybe years, right? If you've lived there a long time. Good. Notice something new. I just noticed a nail in the wall that I've never seen before. Interesting. Maybe just point these things out, and then connecting it to imagine you're on stage, right? With someone. How can you rediscover space? If you've been on a stage a million times, how do you rediscover the world each and every night? So really using your eyes to do this. Good. If you feel silly again, maybe just laugh. I feel like a crazy person. That's fine. Yeah, uncomfortable is the road to discovery. Good. One thing here too, again, we're gonna add on to this concept. So keep looking around the room. Notice if your gaze gets locked somewhere. Yeah, that means that you're kind of losing focus or losing track of the space. So keep looking around. And then start to make circles with your body everywhere. So circles in your hips, circles in your arms, circles in your knees, circles in your finger joints, circles in your wrists, in your elbows, in your ankles, and your toes. So you become a big circle monster. Everywhere is creating circles. Good, and they can be slow. Beautiful, you guys. Oh my gosh, so lovely. And then what about your neck? This happens for me. I tend to jack my neck into one shape. Let it tip off the axis. Right? Imagine all the storytelling that can happen if there's tension in the neck. Good, and then imagine these circles start really overlapping. So you can't really tell where one starts and one ends, and maybe then connect to your emotion about that. Dazed, confused, feeling maybe overwhelmed by the amount of circles in your body. Oh, holy smokes, it's a lot of circles. Yeah, so you're really feeling all of these things overlap. What about your shoulder blades? What about the back of your body, your butt, your tailbone? All of it becomes just a big circle. Good, and they get faster. Can you get faster with your circles? Good. Counting down, if you want to count with me, we count down from 10. 10, 9, they get faster. 8, 7, they get faster. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then float. Don't release. Release against gravity. Feel really buoyant. Take a big breath. You can feel how your heart rate is up. Feeling really light. Good, so maybe imagine that you've dunked down into a beautiful pool of water. Those eyes are open. I was just watching America's Next Top Model and they did like a water shoot. Maybe imagine that. Like you're like a mermaid in the water. You have long, wavy sheets around you. You're kind of drawing with them. Good. Good, and then complete completely opposite of this. This is the last sort of exercise we'll do in this warming up for artistry. Start to imagine a little bit of a shape come to your hips. Good. Shaking here, down in your pelvis. Ooh, okay, do you feel goofy? Okay, okay, laugh it off, right? Ooh, okay, this is crazy, right? And then the shake leads up into your belly and up into your chest. And then maybe it echoes down into your legs, ooh, and then into your arms. Okay, now, if you're an actor, how far can you go, right? So it's not really about dance right now, okay? Maybe imagine this shake is happening to you. You don't know what's happening, so emotionally, how can you connect to this shake? Are you scared of the shake? Ooh. Are you happy about the shake? Okay, ooh, tickles, yeah? So maybe you're getting tickled. Oh gosh, okay, ooh, that's a lot. And then maybe you're in control of the shake now. Like it's nothing. Yeah, okay. Whew. Like you're shaking something off. Ugh, maybe emotions. Ugh. Get out of here. Really shake the head, the shoulders, the hips. Good. And then we're gonna drum on the body. Down the legs, around the arms. And again, connect to your humor, your sense of humor. Oh my gosh, I'm slapping myself in my apartment at 10 in the morning. How crazy. Yeah? And then last thing here. All right, take a cold shower. Ooh. What does that mean in your body emotionally? Ooh. Ooh. How cold is the water? Ooh, is it ice bath cold? Oh, that might totally change the way that the shivers go through my body. Ooh, good. And if you feel that stopping point, like this is dumb, I want you to shake that off and connect to something deeper. As actors, right, we have to be able to be silly to get the real humanity. Yeah, so ooh, get that cold shower. Here we go. How cold can it get? We're gonna count down. Feel free to count. Counting down the cold shower for 10. Ooh, it's on your neck. 8. It's on your shoulders, it's on your feet. 6, 5, 4, 3, woo, 2, and 1. Back to that float. Really float in that water. Good. Reach the arms up. Big stretch. And then however your feet want to be, they can be wide, they can be together. Just fall over. Take a nice stretch. Bend the knees, shift side to side. Good. And then slowly start to roll up. Nice and easy. Last thing, just reach your arms out to the side. Spread your fingers wider than you think you could. Even wider. And then make sure your ankles aren't locking. Keep them really buoyant. So like there could be a whole other ankle inside your ankle. Good. And let it go. Good. Really, really nice. Good, good, good. Cool. Anyone have anything they want to share about that experience? You don't have to, but maybe it was just interesting for you to move differently. And I hope you kind of feel like your heart is a little bit softer. So next we're going to learn sort of a series of, it was a good release. It does, it feels really good, right? And that's only just a little bit of it. So that method is built off of a famous dance choreographer named Ohad Naharim. He's from Israel, and he's a dance company called Bat Sheva, and they do a style called Gaga, not Lady Gaga, but just Gaga, and it was way before Lady Gaga that he developed it. And why he developed it is because he got a spine injury. They told him he wouldn't walk, and he thought, okay, that's crazy. I have to connect to sensation. So this is actually a practice that you can take online right now. It's called Gaga, and I'll put a link to it. They have a GoFundMe. Donations optional, and they have 8 classes a day, and it's an hour of this, and it is incredible. And you don't have to be a dancer. He built it for movers. It's really popular in Tel Aviv to see 90-year-old women doing this, and it's amazing. It's an amazing release and an amazing way to connect to your acting. Cool. So I want to talk about body form real quick. So when you're in a show and they say, look at the second balcony, what tends to happen is, I notice especially with young actors, is they'll go, and then like their whole body's dead inside, right? They'll be like, there's the second balcony. Or they're stiff. They're like, here I am, I'm about to get on a boat, right? So it's like all of this energy. And then we have that, but then our rest of our body's dead. So I find in theater, we're really emoting in the face, but our body stays very dead. And that's something I see a lot of times when I'm working with dancers or actors when they're transitioning across the stage as well. You know, you've got that crossover, you gotta like just walk from right to left, and you'll see people just like, and that's such a bummer, because if you can live alive in that movement, if you can grow in that movement. So we're just gonna do an exercise, getting our feet underneath our hips. This is huge. So what I see a lot in auditions is people standing with their feet wider than their hips, or people standing with their toes slightly in or their heels slightly out. And then what all of those things do is it changes your body posture so that maybe you look schlumped or maybe you look lopsided, and the body is all telling the audience or the audition panel how you're feeling. So even if you're totally confident, if I'm standing like this and singing, because that's how I normally stand, then I'm going to give that to the audience. So, or if I'm wringing my hands together, if I'm using that because I'm nervous, that's gonna say something about who I am as an actor, right? So we're gonna try to drop those things, but stay alive. So bringing your feet underneath your hips. What you want from this shape is you want your knee to track over your second toe, and that's gonna look slightly different for everyone. And then you're gonna start to straighten your legs, and then make sure your pelvis isn't tucking. So I've struggled with eating disorders, and I know that's something very common. And so when I used to take ballet, I used to try to get smaller and smaller and smaller. And what that eventually did was compromise my lower spine so much I could barely walk. So I want you to stick it out if you've got it. Just stick it out, love it. Just be like, oh my gosh, you're the most beautiful booty in the entire world. And then pull the upper abdominals up so that you're just correcting that tailbone right into neutral, not tucking it, but just setting it right in neutral. Good, so your abs just feel engaged, but still able to release for singing. Then your shoulders, roll them back so that your arms, oftentimes people's arms will fall in front of their thighs. You wanna make sure that your arms are falling behind you and the palms are turning out. Yeah, so you feel very open and available. Then right here in your chest, sometimes we lock in our chest. Okay, well, we need this heart to be able to convey story. So I want you to just soften right in the middle of your chest. Take a deep breath in and then just soften. Good, feeling that release there in the chest. Good, and then think about this. If you were standing ready to sing that solo song or do that big ballet number, this is the place you want to be, where it's not over eager, but it feels soft and connected. Yeah, so try to just close your eyes for a second on this and just sense this feeling. All right, this is often what we get in yoga, this connected to self. Good. Take your hands, just place them over your heart. Really connect to that. And then notice if your body locked, if your legs stopped moving. See if you can bring a little bit of that sway back in. Cool. Awesome. Yeah. So when we go to start our song, it's okay to take a second to not only take your breath to know that you're going to sing, but to take a second for your body to settle too, right? Our voice comes from our body. And sometimes I don't think we always connect that in theater. I think maybe in some acting courses, right? Like crazy, where you're like acting like a bear, act like a monkey, but that doesn't really help you be a human. So this work is just so that you can get into your humanity a little bit. Yeah, and feel free to always take that second before when you're auditioning. Awesome, cool. I'm just gonna check the chat real quick because I think there's a lot of, okay, perfect. Yes, awesome. So what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna teach you a little phrase, a short phrase of movement that's very simple to follow, and then we're gonna play with our artistry a little bit. So, really easy here. You're gonna walk forward for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. Okay, really nice and easy. Good, so again, we're gonna walk forward, 2, 3, 4. Then you're gonna shift for 4. Now, never mind, I'll just say this, we'll get there later. Shift for 4, you're just gonna shift from foot to morning breakfast burp, sorry, for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. Then you're going to, in those 4 shifts, your gaze can go anywhere but front. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you're gonna look forward for 4, just that. But instead of just letting the head go, can the whole body react? 1, 2, 3, 4. Beautiful. Then you're gonna offer your arm out for 8. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Your hands are gonna turn into fists for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Your arms are gonna open up. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you're gonna get small. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, get small. You could get small if you wanted. You could get small just in your chest. You could get small just in the physical sense of you. It's just get small. Yeah, so we're connecting to our artistry. We're connecting to our ability to storytell. So really easy. Again, we'll just go through that phrase. We walk for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We shift for 4. 1, 2, our gaze goes 3, 4. Then we look forward. 1, 2, 3, 4. We reach out for 8. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Our hands turn into fists for 1, 2, 3, 4. Our arms open out wide. 1, 2, 3, 4. From this big expansive shape, we get small. 2, 3, 4. And the last thing here is to just get curious about a body part or about something in the room. 1, 2, 3, 4 for 8, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's it. Really simple, right? But what we're going to try to do while we do it is never let any of the body feel dead. So it's very easy on this reach to just make it about the hand. But if I just make it about the hand, I lose the heart and I lose the sense of storytelling in the body. So make sure when you're reaching, I always have an initiation, and usually that initiation is going to come from my core. Anytime I'm moving, anytime I'm dancing, this goes for everything, even like a big batma, right? My initiation comes from my belly. It pulls my leg up to the sky. I'm moving my arms, it comes from my core. Everything, right? If you're in Newsies, you could go, look at me, I'm the king. Or you can go, look at me, I'm, right? And it's all about how your body approaches that. And I'd say your core is key to that. So knowing that everything is intensified by how you engage the center of your being, right? In yoga, there's this yellow light that comes from this gut chakra. So our gut is really important here. So we're going to do a fun little exercise with that. So what we're going to do is we're going to play some music, different types of music, different songs, and you're going to play with the artistry of how you connect to that music just with this simple phrase. So this is really for you. Yeah, you're just going to explore how these songs make you feel emotionally. So we'll start with this. Really simple, right? I'll count out the phrases. We all know this song a little bit, yeah? Perfect. So already when you're listening to it, take all that breath, get your shoulders over your hips, take that inhale, and that exhale.
Hey, that's a pretty good idea.
And then start whenever you want. We step forward for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Shift 1, 2. Maybe it's playful. 3, 4. Good. Then we look forward. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe you offer someone the moon. 8, 7, 6, 5, 3, 2, 1. Maybe they don't take it. 8. Good. 2, 3, 4. You get really expansive. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you get small. 1, 2. Maybe you're shy. 3, 4. And then you get curious about yourself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good. Cool. How'd that? Oops, I muted myself. I'm a special person. Did that feel interesting? Right? It's like these are just 4 walks, but then you can sort of find how the music tells you what to do with that movement. So let's try another one. Let's get a little bit more dramatic because we love being dramatic. Yeah. So here we'll get a little bit more dramatic. Cool. So back up. This one has lyrics. See if you can pick up certain lyrics. 1, 2, 3, 4. Shift. 2. Maybe this one's a little sexy. 4. Look forward. 1,
What I
2,
wanted was
3,
to fall asleep.
4. Reach.
Close my eyes and disappear.
And fist. Maybe this one's a little
Like
angrier.
a paddle on a stream.
Good, and then open it out wide. How does the violin keep going? And small.
Lily white and poppy red.
And curious.
I trembled when he laid me out. You
Good.
won't feel the
Nice.
things
Beautiful.
when you go down.
First of all, Hadestown is amazing. I've never seen it, but that music is a lyrical dancer's dream. They're so emotional. Yes, thank you, Hadestown. Okay, let's try. So now we've kind of got the basis of time. Now I want you to start playing. You can start when you want to start. You can keep things going longer if you want them to go longer. Say you're really into this like reach. I want you to reach and listen to the music until it tells you when to release, yeah? So really now enjoy. If you want to keep the 4, 4, 4, 3, 8, whatever, you can keep that if you want. Or you can play with however the music makes you want to feel within those 4 actions. By the way, if you forget an action, I've forgotten the actions 9 million times. Maybe you've noticed. I've been like, reach, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, just move, yeah? And see if you can pick out instruments from the music that maybe you want to follow for something. Like here, there was that beautiful violin. We could go here, or we can create the violin with our bodies. Right, and it's subtle. It doesn't have to be always, right? It's about how can you create the instrument in this really subtle way, which will give you just so much depth as an actor. Okay, let's try this one. Here we go. Uh-oh. Maybe you're like real goofy about it. Yeah, okay. Good, and you can start whenever you want, whenever it speaks to you. Okay. you're in magical forest. We're going to do this song one more time. I love the little violin in the phrasing of it. See if you can kind of pick into that phrasing. Here we go. One more time. Perfect. So it's really fun to find like funny things, right? Like maybe in a moment where you almost surprise yourself, you're like, oh, that was good choreography. Like that really like tapped in nicely. And I think there's this idea, especially the reason I really like this activity is, have you ever been in a rehearsal process where the choreographer's like, just cross the stage, make something up here, kind of have it go with the music, and you're like, okay, are you gonna like it? Is it gonna be bad? Is it gonna be good? And the best actors, I really do say this, that the best actors are the ones who don't need to be told everything. Yeah, the ones who are so in tune with the creative process that they're able to be a collaborator. And those are the people that I know I like to work with, and a lot of the choreographers that I assist, those are the kind of people that they like to work with as well. So these kind of exercises, they seem like choreographic exercises, but they're actually just a way to get you to be connected to the creative team and connected to the larger narrative of what's going on. So if you start listening to music, say you have a crossover, like In the Heights is famous for this, or Hamilton. I did In the Heights, and there is not a piece of music unused in that show. So I did the original choreography, and every single time that there's a musical interlude, the dancers are the musical interlude. So you're going across the stage, even if it's just like, grab a soda can, walk it off the stage, and I'm leaving the audience. Like, it's that simple, but you have to make that into a whole story. So you could just go, grab the soda can, take it off stage, I'm not the star of this scene, right? Which happens, I think, with ensembles. I'm obsessed with ensembles, but I think a lot of people want to be the principal, and we train kids especially to be the principal, but ensemble work is like where it's at. It is like truth, and it is so good. Where else do you get to like make up things on stage? You don't get to do that as a principal, but as an ensemble member, I get to be Jenny, whose boyfriend just broke up with her, and I came over here to get a soda because I'm so miserable, but it's okay, I'm with my friends. So then I'm like, I come into the shop, give me my soda, I take a sip of it, and it's like Dr. Pepper, it's prime. And then I'm like, yes, Dr. Pepper, Dr. Pepper, Dr. Pepper. And it's silly, but like, that is what I think on stage. And if you've ever seen me perform, I look like a crazy person, but I'm having the best time. And that's because I just constantly am connecting to my story. Yeah. So let's do a couple more of these sort of songs. And I want you to get playful. If you don't want to even stay within the regiment of the like 4-8-8-4, you can even go further. Say you want to do a piqué turn. I don't care, do a piqué turn. It's your life, yeah? Or if you want to turn this around, if it strikes you, go for it. Right now, you're going to follow as much as you can the intuition of what the music is telling you within little guidelines. That's it, yeah? So let's try a few more songs like this. This one's gonna be good. Good. Maybe thinking of some words that this brings up. Maybe you know the song. If you don't, that's okay. Maybe you could guess what it is. How can you completely change from the emotional lyrical dancer? Even here, reach. What are you sending out? Maybe this time you're taking something. Yes. Then just groove for a minute to the song. Find just a little natural groove. Good. And if you're step touching, rock on, I want you to break up that step touch, maybe with rhythm. Even if it's 2-step touch. Good, and then ask yourself, are you just moving your feet or is your butt involved? I think Papa is a Rolling Stone and he would want your butt involved. Good, and then maybe your chest is involved too. And then maybe you feel a little goofy, or you feel a character coming on. Maybe find her or him. Good, and then freeze, but don't lose that character.
It was the 3rd of September.
Keep her alive, even in your armpits.
Yes, I will, 'cause that was the
Good, really nice.
day my daddy died. Yeah.
That song is so good. Okay, let's try just a few more, and then I'll just do a little Q&A. Let's do a few more though. I'll just go from song to song. Actually, I want this song.
Sur la lande, au bord de l'étang,
Get into that character.
la
Who is she? Take that
brume
second.
est bleue,
Don't rush.
seul je flambe et l'ombre s'étend dans le soir frileux. Là, le ciel, pour quelques instants, garde encore de l'or dans ses
Stay really
yeux.
open.
Une étoile a brillé au fond de l'étang pour les hommes heureux. J'ai mes rêves, j'ai la nuit et l'odeur des fleurs épanouies.
Good. Don't second guess yourself at all. Everything is right.
Les nuages glissant sur les eaux.
Good, and if you're done before everyone else, just keep something going.
Au bord de l'étang où la brume est bleue.
Good.
Seul
Okay, perfect. So totally different mood, right? It's just incredible when you actually like pay attention to how much your body can shift dynamically and emotionally. Suddenly you're like, oh, wow, I have so much potential, you know, especially when you're not strapped down by specific timing or specific movement. But how do you then bring all of that into that specificity? And that's just gonna come with doing these exercises. And we're gonna do a few more because I just think a few more songs to explore. the last thing I want to talk about is just tension in your body. So go ahead and take your hands, even if you're sitting by the computer, and just squeeze your hands and be like a bodybuilder, like make really big muscles. Ooh, and can you body build even in your abdominals? And then can you squeeze maybe your legs together? Oh my gosh, okay, it's so much effort, right? Okay, and then soften that effort. Soften that effort. Soften. Soften. Keep softening. Keep softening. Good, so there are all these places between. So with this reach, depending on the emotion of it, you can reach it out really soft and then it could get more urgent, or it can start urgent and then maybe get softer. Yeah, so that's a very different emotional thing, right? So when you watch these big ballets in Carousel in Oklahoma, what you're connecting to is that. Not so much the batmas, not so much the big lifts, not so much the turns, which are beautiful, but only because they're done. A double pirouette is a double pirouette until you put all of this on top of it. It doesn't matter. It's boring until you watch Mikhail Baryshnikov hit 2 pirouettes and then go at the end. Okay, that's the exciting part. It's because he hit 4 turns and finished it, and then what? I know. It's crazy. That's the great part though, not the turn, right? Because that's the part we as humans connect with, because most people aren't dancers, so double turn doesn't mean anything. But when you feel someone have an emotional experience about what they're doing, that's when you connect. Let's just do one more song. I could do this all day. One more.
And we could watch you and learn from you all day. Your class, Natalie, it's just been riveting, I want to say. And I only break in because I just want to let you know we only have about 8 minutes left in our session.
Sounds good. Let's do 2 more and then I'll take a few questions. Okay, here we go. Okay, this one's crazy, so I'm going to do it. This is an amazing Jolly Party song. Just a sneak preview. Here we go. Maybe you're in Bright Star the Musical, or you're supposed to be. Yeah, put yourself there. Here we go. Bluegrass, right? Really see where you're at. Where's the country? Maybe you're not in the country, maybe you're in the city, but you're missing the country and you're hearing this guitar from far away. All right. This is a fiddle. Okay. This is a guitar. Perfect. Then you're walking, and then maybe you're remembering. Did anyone get thrown off? Was anyone like, oh shoot, it was real slow and nice and now we're in banjo land? Yeah, let's do one more of that. Let's do one more song. This song's really good. Let's do one more Hadestown one. One more with lyrics. This is Wedding Song. This is actually her version with Bonnie Bear. The last one here. Whatever pace you want.
When I sing my song, all the rivers sing along, and they're gonna break their banks for me to lay their gold around my feet. All the fashion in the pan, all the fashion for your hand. The river's gonna give us a wedding band.
yes. Okay. Are there any questions for me? Any?
You want to raise your hand?
Yeah. Gigi will unmute you.
I will unmute you.
Does anyone have a question? It can be anything. Anything?
Okay, I'm looking in the chat here.
I think people are just raving in the chat.
You guys are doing a great job. I mean, oh, hi, Leslie. You want to ask a question? Hold on.
I do. Hi. Hey, Natalie.
Hi.
I was just wondering, for the group, but do you ever use this kind of improvisational practice as part of your process when you have a new role or something?
Yeah, I use this, I was saying before too, I really do use this before auditions. If you watch me at auditions, I usually have headphones in and I'm Nathan. I just really saw you. Okay, sorry. Hi. I think when I have headphones in at an audition and you'll see me in the corner and I literally am doing like this. I just am connecting to something that's not fear. Because I was noticing in auditions, I had so much fear about what was gonna happen and so much concern with what other people thought of me that I was losing myself as an artist. And maybe you guys can relate to this. The longer that you do this, the harder it is to keep that artistry alive. So I definitely use this for warm-ups. And then I practice, Leslie knows because I'm always telling her about it, but I practice this Gaga, and you really should look it up on Instagram. It's gaga.dancers.people. I'll double check, but yeah, gaga.people.dancers. I cannot speak for it enough. It is like, it has changed me as an artist. Really, truly, to connect that way. But I have been doing this to connect to a more authentic self. So I think with roles, I try to definitely listen to the music silently before the show starts and improv through the whole score. And I even improv through my 16 bar cuts. I found that works for me because dance is more my emotional avenue. So I've been improvising to the songs that I would sing without singing. And it's really fascinating to see that sort of what emotions come up that I didn't know before that are trapped in my body. And then those things start coming out when you sing, and you might even find your acting beats, right? Like sometimes we think, I look over here, then I look over here, but that might not be intrinsically what's right for you. And you might find that with this kind of work. There's a question in the...
Yeah, answer that question, girl.
Yeah. We only have a couple moments left, but there is a question from Amanda. What has been your favorite ensemble role to work on and why? And what was the most difficult? Can you just shout it out?
Okay. Like, oh my gosh. Cabaret, I think was the most fascinating and interesting. I got to be Rosie, one of the Kit Kat girls, and we each had a very different character, and we had to go back in time and adapt a different time period, and we had to sit on stage the whole time. So we never left. So we would like sit in the club and watch the performances and staying involved emotionally every single night, and knowing that the minute that you went dead, part of the stage went dead. So it was really important to keep this life about you. And also I'm Jewish, and that story is very important to me. And that time period is very important to me. So it was emotional for me. My grandmother was in the Holocaust. So there was a lot of things that sort of overlapped in that show, which made it difficult emotionally and physically. And we were in heels and nothing. So then I was dealing with all of my body issues. So that was probably the most.
Wow. Well, you know what, Natalie, this has been an amazing session. Let's give Natalie a big round of applause. I hope we can convince her to come back and do it again, because this was just magical. Wonderful,
thank you. I'm
wonderful.
gonna there's some great questions here. I'm gonna put my my Instagram here for you. So feel free to reach out to me with the Instagram and I will respond there.
Great. And what is your handle on Instagram?
I just put it in the chat. It's Natalie_Rose0. And take Gaga. Truly, like, it'll change your life.
Wonderful. This has just been amazing. And bonjour, Gabrielle from France.
Gabrielle,
I see you.
I'm glad that French song was in there.
Yes, it was fantastic. Listen, we can't thank you all enough for supporting what we're doing with 3D+U while we're at this stay-at-home order. We hope that you are all, and you and your family and friends are all safe and healthy, but we're gonna have to say class dismissed.
Class dismissed.
Check us
I'll
out
try
at
to
11 o'clock for dance.